responding to crazy chat. I don't know if you saw this week. Elizabeth Warren told reporters that a guy came up to her and said, "I would have voted for you if only you had a penis." Now let me say two things about that. Number one, that story is a lie. Produce this fictional person, because this human being does not exist. That is not even 1/1024th true. But number two, in today's Democrat Party, how do we know she doesn't?
You get it? You get it like that, I'm gonna say 99% white crowd losing themselves laughing. It's because of the transphobia. That's Ted Cruz. He's not a particularly smart man, a particularly good politician, but he can read the political winds, and he's a conservative, and so you have to deliver transphobia. You get it? You get it? How do we know whether she might have a penis or something? And then you just stand there, and the applause and the laughter wash over you. You have nothing to provide to these people. You have no intention of providing anything. You have no substantive counter argument to Elizabeth Warren's points or whatever. All you have is the easiest thing to deliver: pure, unadulterated hatred for the trans community, and that's what he's giving them.
Yeah, and just reactionary comedy. Like, it's incredible. I mean, he's taking a page out of Trump's book. Trump's a little more natural. Ted Cruz probably has some writing, a few comedy writers. But it's incredible. Like, if you make, they're laughing. They're laughing at the expense of, I don't know, both Elizabeth Warren, the trans community, everybody, the fact that he even did a joke. Like, it's actually frightening. That being said, I did hear this story, and it does actually seem slightly far-fetched. And if it is, meaning like someone told Elizabeth Warren that, the reason that it seems far-fetched is I have a hard time believing a Democratic voter told her that. I absolutely believe a Republican told her that to her face. Because that's the kind of party, that is the kind of base, that is the kind of like sort of open misogyny and a-holery that the GOP believes in. So I totally believe that happened. I just don't believe it was a Democratic voter.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't care. I don't believe almost any of these anecdotes that politicians say. That's perfectly fine. The idea that you would then parlay that into the one joke that every conservative knows is just disgusting. And by the way, G.A. Thrawn just reminded me of this. I completely forgot about this. Ted Cruz will not stand for fake, dishonest anecdotes about interactions politicians supposedly have with regular people. He doesn't have time for it either, because he's so busy being hugged every time he gets on a plane by anti-vaccine flight attendants and pilots. Almost without exception, he gets hugged on every flight, he told us. Ted Cruz, a man who, if we know one thing about him, it's that people really want to touch him when they see him. But
so
yes,
huggable.
Elizabeth Warren is lying.
Every week, I fly back and forth to Houston. Almost without exception, every time I'm on an airplane, either the captain or a flight attendant will come up to me, will hug me and say, "Thank you for fighting for us." Because I'll tell you, United Airlines, sadly, Houston's a hub of them, has fired thousands of pilots and flight attendants. What difference does it make? We're in the District of Columbia right now. There are mandates affecting kids in DC. This is wrong.
That is Ted Cruz, and he is genuinely expressing emotion that he really feels. Am I not being passionate now? Do I not inspire you? Now, clearly he's lying. Ted Cruz wants to demonstrate, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he is so out of touch, so uncool simultaneously that no one would ever want to support him. Now, you probably already know this, but take a look at this clip. He's gonna reach a whole new audience with this.
That there is a real risk if you are that slacker barista who wasted 7 years in college studying completely useless things, now has loans and can't get a job. Joe Biden just gave you 20 grand. Like, holy cow, 20 grand. That, maybe you weren't going to vote in November and suddenly you just got 20 grand. And, if you can, get off the bong for a minute and head down to the voting station, or just send in your mail-in ballot that the Democrats have helpfully sent you, it could drive up turnout. particularly among young people.
Okay, so Ted Cruz is absolutely awful there. Terrible. We'll spotlight why. But to be clear, he's not actually the lamest person in that video, because after he does this thing about getting off the bong like it's 1941 or something, they then cut to a wide shot so you can see the host of the podcast, Michael Knowles, who gives this creepy, sycophantic little grin. If we could go to this shot, where he is so thrilled to have Ted Cruz mocking the idea that one of these people who works a full-time job might do legal drugs. That guy's what? Like he couldn't be more than mid-30s or something. He's 90. Inside his crusty black heart, he's 90. But anyway, Ted Cruz is saying that it doesn't matter if you work, it doesn't matter if you grind out a living. If you're doing something that I don't value, something stupid like making coffee, one of the most popular products in our entire country, then you don't deserve respect. You certainly don't deserve government action to help you. Even if you're grinding out, getting to work at 5 a.m. so that people can show up for their 6 a.m. coffee, you don't deserve any help because all you're doing is working, sweating, toiling to produce products that people want. And this is now a through line for the Republican Party. They hate basically anyone who makes a drink. So if you make coffee, if you're a barista, as I was in college, screw you, you're worthless. Marjorie Greene has multiple times suggested that AOC can't be smart because she was a bartender. I don't know what that means. These are both very hardworking professions. But if you're one of those people, you can be a Republican, that's your right. Why you would be, I have no idea, because they don't respect you at all.